Hi everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the Linux commands with the latest outputs. So let's try a few sample commands. The first one is the date. When we are looking for a date, simply we can type it as a date. You will get the current date as whatever the day and which month and what is the time now as a UTC format. A related command is cal, which by default displays the calendar of our current month. So yeah, by default it's an a calendar will have an API, so we need to install that as an mcal. Now you can just type as an a cal. Yeah, this is an output of calendar, which is in a basic command we are discussing. Then we will go for to see the current amount of free space on our desk drives. So that is simply you can do it as a df. This is will gives the complete overview of your storage. And now we're gonna look into the free command that was the directory we are standing in, and it's something like you will get the more information about the things. Yeah, this is gives an a RAM related information, how much RAM you have and how much it was used, and what is the buffer you have and available RAM storage. These about free command. And if you we have other commands too, basic commands. These all are whatever we are discussing. And the directory we are standing inside called current working directory. To display the current working directory, we need to use pwd command that will print working directory. That pwd full form you can consider as a print working directory. So this is pwd was in a command by default Linux, so it's in a pwd. See, I'm in root directory now, so that's the reason it was giving us a root. When we are first log into our system to start in a terminal emulator session, our current working directory is set to home directory, whatever it is, a root user or a specific user as an Ubuntu or any user. By default it will use as an home user. Each user account is given to home own home directory. Like for example, I'm creating one user called Ubuntu. That will create a home directory as an Ubuntu for that specific user, where he can place the regular user allowed writing files. These are directory which we are talking about. And next session, thing, it's currently whatever we are connecting or whatever we are doing on the Linux as a sessions. So whenever you are done with your creations and whatever the simple things, basic one was ending in a terminal session. We can end in a terminal session by either closing the terminal emulator window or by entering the exit command at a shell promote. So that is simply you can just type it as an exit. This will exit from the current session and it will gives you it will close the complete one. Okay, we are done with basic commands. Now we are exploring. We're gonna explore the file system. So here most of the things, whatever we are doing, listing the content of directories to list the files and directories in the current working directory. We can use the ls command. We will start something like, if we're gonna start with an ls, we need to list out the files. So whenever you are typing as an ls, that will give you a list of the content directory. See, in my machine I have only the two files that was showing up here. Listing the contents of the directory, actually we can use the ls command to list the content of the any directory, not just for current directory, working directory, and there are many other fun things it can do with as well. Well, spend more time with ls into a next chapters of next videos and discussion. So the command ls command has a large number of possible options. Like every command have a multiple options to explore and to use. So let's discuss about the ls options. So most common are listed now here. Hyphen a, ls hyphen a, list all files, even those which names that begins with a period, which is normally not listed. You can consider that as hidden files in the current directory. And even use hyphen ls hyphen a or ls hyphen all. This will also both hyphen a was on a short form, hyphen a hyphen all was on a long form. Now hyphen capital A, we are talking about hyphen a, that was in a small a. When you are considering nothing specified, that was in a small. So now we are specifying that ls hyphen a, ls hyphen a, it will ls hyphen a. So yeah, ls hyphen a, almost all, like like in a hyphen a option, whatever above expected does not list the current directory and the parent directory. So it will gives like all the data which was in current directory and as well as the parent directory. It's an all, consider all, almost all. So here also we have a short form and long form. One is an hyphen a and other one is an hyphen almost all. That will gives you a list of the current directory and parent directory information. And we have more other options as well. Hyphen d, that is ordinarily if the directory is specified, will list out the content of the directory, not all the directories itself, but use this command for conjunction with an hyphen I option to see details about the directory rather than its contents. So this is even hyphen d also the short form and long form, that is hyphen d and short form, long form was an hyphen directory. And there is an hyphen f, that is so ls hyphen d, let's see which was we haven't checked. Yeah, this is in a directory 1, small d, it was, see, that was giving an ordinary specified file. And we have an hyphen f, ls hyphen f, capital F, that will give a classified. This is an option called like this option will append the indicators of characters to end of the each listed line. For example, a slash, if ends with a slash, that will be in a directory. If you see here comparison between the ls and ls hyphen f, that was in a, it will gives you the differentiation between the files and directory. And h hyphen h, ls hyphen h, that is a human readable, that hyphen that whatever we have an hyphen h, that was a human readable. In long format listing, display file sizes in human readable format rather than in the bytes. So this is useful when we are using ln something ls hyphen t and integration, other options where we are using. And hyphen I, display results in a long format, ls hyphen I. See, this will give us in a whatever the directory file or directory size. Based on that, it will gives in a long format. And hyphen r, ls hyphen r was the recursive. ls hyphen r displays the results in reverse order. Basically, when we are doing an ls, that will give us an ascending alphabetical order. So that's the reason it's gonna reverse the order, like in whatever the order we are following for a default, it will give us a reverse order for if you made hyphen r. And there is a hyphen s, that will give us a short results by file. If you see hyphen l hyphen s, that will give us a short form, short results by the file size. Whichever the file size was less, that will give first. And hyphen t, ls hyphen t, sort by modification time. Whatever the file modified last time, like very recently files, recently changed files, gonna print first. See, here in our case, that is in a file doc or compose was on a recently edited, so that's the reason it's also on top. And okay, we are mostly done with an ls list of directories, and so that's pretty good. Now let's go for another one, which was determining in a file type. So whatever we have a file, determining in a files types was very important. As we explore the system, it will be useful to know what file content. To do this, we will use file command to determine a files type. As we discussed earlier, file names in Linux are not required to reflect as in a file contents, while file name like in a something picture.jpg would normally be expected to contain in a JPG compressed file image. So it's not a required to Linux. We can invoke that files commands in this way, like file one minute. Okay, this should be yeah, we are here. Okay, file. Yeah, sorry, we are discussing about file, right? Yeah, file, and let me see what files we have first. Yeah, file and docker compose dot YAML. Okay, file was not installed by default, so explicitly in our machines, Linux machine, we need to install that. Then we're gonna run this command. Let me do that. So we are done with the file. Now I'm just doing as in a compose file. Okay. See, this is in a format of text, but YML, right? This is the file ASCII text. Whatever the format of YML, that will consider as an that to here. So this is something like, for listing, knowing the file name. So it's most about that will gives in a detailed description of the file. It will prints the brief description of the file contents. So we are done with file determining file system as well. Now we will go for a less. So viewing file content with less, we have a multiple, but yeah, let's discuss. This is a very useful and very important one. So when throughout our Linux system, there are many files that contains a human readable text. The less program provides in a convenient way to examine them. So once we started, the less program allows us to scroll forward and backward through in a text file. For example, to examine in a file that defines all over the system's user accounts, and to examine that, let's see that. Let's etc password. See, this is what. So and the most most common keyboard commands used by less are page up or B. We can use page up or B. Otherwise, page down or space, scroll down space. And this is up and down we are using. And if we want to use up arrow, scroll one line up, down arrow, scroll one line down. G for move complete end of the text file, and small g moves beginning of the text file, or small g or one G, capital G. So this is the more common ones. And if you want to, we can N for search. You can use the N, search recursive document here. And H for display helps display screens, whatever the commands we have, what needs to be done, how we need to do. And if you want to quit, you can simply type in a quit. That's it. So this is about the less view of file contents within a less command. Okay, we are done with basic things as well. Now we will go for files and directories. Most common one which we are using, this was very important, and this gonna key role for the complete Linux systems. But yeah, before beginning these, we need to begin using our commands. Like, we need to talk about a shell feature that makes those commands, whatever we are able to see here, as a cp and move, make directory, rm, and links, ln. We need to know about the some commands. I mean, not commands exactly. It's in a wildcards. So since the shell uses file names so much, it provides a special characters to help you rapidly specify grouping of files, and those special characters are called wildcards. Whatever the characters we are going to use for a filter out, or making a files to match, like that we will call that special characters as a wildcards. So let me discuss about the wildcards before going to those commands which we have here. So first thing was a star will matches any character, which was for example, in the list you have some bunch of files. you need to find something, or you want to know like all the characters one, so you can use this star that will gives that will matches any character, and there is a question mark that will gives you a match and any single character. It's not complete matches, it's gonna match for a single character. And there is square brackets in between character that will matches any character that is a member of the set of character, like this. So wherever you have some character, that will gives complete matches of the files, members from the set of character. If you use this question mark in between, exclamatory mark, that will in square brackets exclamatory mark as well as the characters which we want to filter out or searching for, that will this is the wildcard one, where we don't matches any character that is not in a member of the set of characters. And there is a class that matches any character that is a member of a specified class. These are the most common characters which we going to use. But yeah, even apart from these, we have a commonly used character classes, that is an alphanumeric, something C alphanumeric. If you have we need to declare that as a square bracket colon alpha al nu. This is an alphanumeric. This matches any alphanumeric characters base. And if you have if you gonna use the same for alphabetics, you can use the square bracket and alpha and square bracket again. This will give us matches any alphabetic characters. And if you use digit instead of alpha, that will give all matches any numericals, digit, digits. And if you use lower, matches any lowercase letters, lower for lowercase letters. And upper matches any uppercase letters. These are the commonly used character classes which we have inside Linux. And now we are done with some discussions of classes. While here we can see like wildcard examples here, star for all files as we discussed. If you see ls star, see it's giving a list of all files. And if you want to see ls and d star, which starts with d, it's gonna show that only. And if you want to only YML file or something, like see lsd star dot YML, it means it's gonna print only one file which starting with a d and whatever its content after that and ends with a YML. This is one more example. Any files with beginning. So, and there is a file beginnings if you want to follow something. For example, data question mark, multiple question, 3 question marks. It will gives you ls data 3 question marks. Access any dir file, or see that will give any files beginnings with their data and followed by 3 exactly characters. So it's not any matches here, so that's the reason it's not able to see. But if you want to see something, example ls and db dot sql, here you can see number of characters. I'm just doing this. See, it's an empty one. It's in a directory we have. So that's the reason it was showing up like that. Now, if you want to see something like star, like square brackets, any files begins with A, like let me ls hyphen a b c d. I come to see this star. See, as I mentioned here, we are looking for any file beginnings with an A and either A or B or A, B or C. That is whatever we mentioned in the square brackets. That files was looking for and starting with, and the star means it's gonna be, already we discussed, that's gonna give the complete. And same special characters we mentioned earlier: backup, upper, digit, lower, and these are most of the common things we can. Okay, we discussed with regular expressions. Now let's go for manipulating the files and directories. As manipulating means everyone knows about it. Whatever the files we are here, we are gonna make the changes and doing the things. So CP was the most common one. CP, copy files and directories. So we have a multiple files, multiple directories, and things, right? So the CP command copies files or directories. It can be used to different ways. One, CP item to item. So I'm just showing that CP item 1 and item 2. To copy this single file or directory item 1 to file or directory item 2, and CP item directory to copy multiple items, either files or directories, into a directory. So this is a syntax you can consider now. But yeah, let's go further. Useful options and examples. Here some of the commonly used options in the short options, and also you have an equivalent long option. So as we discussed with other commands as well. Yeah, CP options. So here we can see commands, copy commands, and we have an -a. Let's see here. I'm gonna create one. We have one file here, CP, and I'm just copying item 1, item 2. So we cannot, why? Because we don't have touch item 1. Sorry. See, no such file or directory. It's a spelling mistake item. Yeah, it's more now. We have a multiple. Even we can use -a. These are the options. So it was used. Copy the file or directory and all their attributes, including ownership and permissions. Normally, copy take and a default attributes of a user performance copy while doing an -a. So and there is an -i interacting mode before overriding. See, CP -i, and I'm just using item 1, item 2. So it's gonna ask you when you are writing in a override. Before overriding in a existing file, prompt the user for confirmation. Is this option is not specified? CP will silently override the file. So just you mentioned copy -i, so you need to confirm it. Yes. And we can also hyphen r we're gonna recursively upgrade, upgrade or recursively copy the directories and their content, their options. As an hyphen a we discussed, these required when the copy directories, when you are copying one directory to another directory or some other place, that might be for sure we need to use an hyphen r for recursively copy, and hyphen u for update when copying the files from one directory to another directory. Only copy files that either don't exist or new never than the existing corresponding files. In the destination directory, this is useful when copying large number of files. It skips over the files that don't need to be in a copied. Hyphen u update. So an hyphen v or verbose displays an informative message as copy is performing. If you are copying from one file to other file, so we can just do that as an hyphen v. See what happened from source and destination. It's gonna give you a thing. So and also we saw that examples here. CP just let's summarize the examples whatever we found here. CP file 1 file 2, copy file 1 to file 2. If file 2 exists, it is overwritten within a content of file 1. If file does not exist, it will create. And cp-i file 1 file 2 same of the above, except that file 2 exists the user prompt before it overwritten. cp file 1 file 2 directory, copy file 1 and file 2 into a directory. So directory must be already exist. If you are doing that, cp file 1 file 2 and directory 1, you need to make sure that directory was exist. And cp directory star and directory 2, what using wildcard, all the files in directory 1 are copied into the directory 2. Directory 2 must already exist in this case. And cp-r as we performed here, cp-r directory 1 directory 2, copy the content of the directory 1 to directory 2. If directory 2 does not exist, it is created it's created after the copy will contains the same content as directory 1, and if directory 2 doesn't exist, then directory 1 and it contains will be copied into a directory 2. So these are pretty straightforward things for our copy command. Now let's go for a move for mv command, move or rename files the directories. The move mv command performs both moving and file renaming, and depending on how it is used. In either cases, the original file no longer exists after the operation. Move mv command use much the way of as an cp. Same syntax you can consider move destination, source and destination. So to move or rename the file or directory, for example here move mv and item 1 and item 2. Either you have an item 1 you're gonna rename, or it's it's in this case it's gonna rename. We are item 1 and we are making it as an item 2 moving. So if you are moving into a directory, that will give a move item 1 to directory. See, this gonna copy file to directory. To to move one or more items from one directory to another directory, useful command. So this is something cases we can go for other things. Now even whatever we discussed over in a CP, we have same options as in a CP move options, and that was something like an if-night interactive. Before overwriting in a file or file, prompt the user for a confirmation. If this option is not specified, move silently overwrite the file. -u update: when moving file from one directory to another directory, only move files that either doesn't exist or be newer than the existing corresponding file in the destination directory. And -v or verbose displays the informative message that to the move performed. So already let discuss here. Let's some example for move and file 1 and file 2. Move file 1 to file 2. It's if file 2 exists, it's override the file 2 content of the file 1. If file 2 does not exist, it's gonna create, in either cases file 1 will cases to, it will not be there after moving. MV-I iterative, same one in interactive, same one as an above. So except that move, if file 2 exists, the user prompt will be an overridden. And move file 1 to file 2 directory as a directory 1 already exists. With that would be same as in a CP command. So we are moving an operation to another folder or directory. In that case, that directory needs to be already exist. You can use directory 1 to directory 2. If directory 2 does not exist, create and directory 2 and move that contents of directory 1 into a directory 2 and delete the directory 1. If directory 2 does not exist, move directory 1 to directory 2. It's same content into a directory 2. This is, we are discussing, we are done with something like move command rename. That's fine. Now we will go for an mkdir. That was a basic one, and these two, even we need to discuss earlier, or here also fine. But yeah, let's go here. Directories. The main part here in our Linux, we need to create a directories. The makdir command is used to create directories. It works like this: mkdir and directory name. Note, this is something, when 3 periodic follows or argument description command like this means mkdir and repeated arguments. If you're gonna repeated arguments, you can use multiple mkdir and directory 1 and dir 2, something like in a similar one for directory dir 3. This is an iterative one. So you can create, let's do it. mkdir dir1, dir1. This is gonna create one directory as a dir1. You can see -l. It's created in dir1. Now we want to create multiple directories: mkdir dir2, dir3, dir4. It's going to create multiple directories. You can see here, initially we created as a 1, now we created as a multiple at a time directories. That was directory creations. And now let's discuss about the rm, remove files and directories. The rm command is used to remove, obviously that is a delete files and directories. Rm item, whatever delete in the sense we're gonna use an rm, and whatever the item we're gonna delete. For example here, item 1, it's gonna delete the item 1, it's rm gonna delete it. You can see icon after L. See item 1, sorry, that item was removed, that item 1. And here also we have a same set of options, command options was there. One is an interactive -i, and before deleting an existing file prompt and a confirmation. See, if I gonna delete again rm -i for item 1, so it's asking for a confirmation, so iterative one, I'm gonna confirm it. And -r, recursively delete directories. Those means the directory begins delete as a subdirectories. Delete them too. Like if one folder have a name, within the one folder you have a multiple folders and files. So it's gonna -r gonna remove all the subfolders, subdirectories, and subfiles, whatever we have inside that specific file, we're going to remove everything. And -f, that was a force, ignore non-existent files. Do not prompt it, like don't give any options or errors on that. And this overrides the interactive option. Like if you provide an -f, even -i was provided, it's going to ignore that -i interactive option. Another one is an -v verbose, which will give some information about the deleted performance. So let's go for an examples as we performed here. Rm delete, rm file 1 something. So delete file 1 silently, it's deleted that. So rm -i, and that was an item 1. That was some of above, except the user prompt confirmation before deletion is performed. And here rm -r file deletes from the directory contains, and rm -rf, that will delete any files and as well as the directories forcefully. But yeah, be careful with an rm. Unix like operating systems such as Linux do not have an delete command. Once you deleted something with rm, it's gone. Linux assumes you are smart and you know that whatever you are doing. So that's the reason, be careful with an rm command. Now last we have last but not least, as an ln, created a hard and symbolic links. You can consider hard and soft. But yeah, let's go into that. The ln command is used to create either hard or symbolic or soft link. It's used one of two ways. So here you can simply mention as an ln file and link. So we can go through here, ln file and link. This is what to create a hard link, this was. And if you want to create a soft link, ln -s item and link. To create a symbolic link where item either of a file as nor in a directory. Now we will try some links. First, add links will create some links to our data file like. So whenever you create something here, I'm gonna create ln, and we have an item 2 and item 2 link. You can consider as a link. So now see here, and See now here you can see link, hard link. It's created as an item to link. This is an creation of hard link. Now symbolic links were created to overcome the two disadvantage of the hard links. Hard links have an cannot open span physical devices, and hard links cannot reference as the directories. Only files we can use for hard directory. I mean this linked hard linking for files. But yeah, symbolic links were specially types of files that contains a text pointers to the target files and or directories. So something it's in a symbolically we are pointing. Like for example, here I'm just creating for a ln-s, and one is an item 2 and item soft. See that will give us a soft linking. It was not going to create any other things, but we are linking the file from one to other links. So it's pointer, something like in a pointer one. So symbolic one which was created, we will consider symbolic as a soft as well. This is what. Okay, let's move on.